Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is February 13th, 2019. I think it's after 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. I was watching about 2 videos on Dr. Sebi. And I've done a video, it was about maybe 2 years ago. It was right after Dr. Sebi's passing. And I stopped watching different videos about Dr. Sebi because I was starting to get upset. And I heard there was something about his wife, about the circumstances of his death. And someone had recently commented on the video that I did and suggested that I listen to one of the newer videos about one of the former wives of Dr. Sebi. And I said to myself, I really don't want to go there and all about hearsay. That's what came to my mind. And then I said, I will take a look. So I watched the video on, her name is Ma'a Bauman. She was, I don't know what placement she was with the different people in Sebi's life, but I like how they worded it that Dr. Sebi had many different chapters in his life. And that particular wife, Ma'a, was like one of the earlier chapters, the first chapter. The chapter when, in the 1970s, they were together. They were married for 30 years, according to her. And their relationship, she was sick at one time and paralyzed, and how he treated her. And there was a collaboration between the two, that she used to mix his herbs, things like that. And then the introduction to one of the other women in Dr. Sebi's life. And so it was upsetting to hear about what I thought it was going to be about. I mean, the woman, Ma'a, and the daughter was accompanied the mother. No malice. They didn't have any malice, whatever. But my anger is about the relationships of different women out there and the men. And it makes me sad. I'm sad about the social aspects of the story, not about his healing. It's evident that he helped a lot of people, all different backgrounds. So it's not about his professional life, him utilizing the different herbs. It's more of the social aspect of similar themes that I've heard about that can happen in the Black community. That's what this is about. I used to live in the Caribbean. I lived in the Caribbean for 3.5 years. I went there, I was in my 20s. And I left it when I was 30. And the different things that I saw while living in the Caribbean. are the relationships between the men and the women. And what happens, now yes, Dr. Sebi is from Central America, but very similar the culture. The Caribbean and Central America, you have a heavy black population in both of these places. Both places that historically we all got there the same way as slaves, and the trauma that happened to us as a people. So whether you were enslaved in Florida or Jamaica or Puerto Rico or Cuba or Haiti or Honduras or Nicaragua or even Mexico, it's all basically the same. Just the languages are different, really. So what do I see? I see a hurting man who wants to be recognized for his greatness, his skills as a healer, and the desire for tapping into the old ancient cultural healing system of family, of community. And I feel that people like Dr. Sebi and the greater Caribbean and Central American community is what they strive for, to live this past of past greatness, of history, of wellness before we got kidnapped and brought to the Americas for traumatization and still being traumatized. Are hurting men. When men, I find that when men are hurting, when their manhood is being grabbed by another man for oppression, racial oppression, that they take it out on women and exercise their sexual prowess. So they acquire many girlfriends / wives and have many, many children. And on the surface, some men that do these things, and the women who enable them, or even women who are victimized by these guys of trickery, or even women that trick men, the outcome is still the same. You have tons of children without home, a home with both parents at home. It's usually run by a single head of household, and oftentimes not the guy. The children don't get to know their father. And again, if you have 50 to 100 children, I doubt that they're all being, living with him in one central location. Most likely you have different women living all over and are fatherless. And that would help explain in one of the videos I saw at Dr. Sebi's funeral, and he was standing right by the coffin, his coffin, and he was smirking. And I thought his behavior was very inappropriate, standing by his father's casket. And maybe that's partly why that, you're not around, and here you're gone, and now I have to learn how to manage my life as a teen, how to survive. There are things that are done in our community. And fooling around with different women or men isn't helping the greater community. Wellness is an important thing. And wellness without moral responsibility are in war with each other. You cannot say that you want wellness and then living a lifestyle of going around having different sexual partners. That's not, it works contrary to one another. They're in opposition to each other. And it's emotionally stressful to have people having different unions, producing children, and you're not really taking care of them. And you have people who like to link up with people who have promising careers. And they might purposely position themselves so that they want to share in the person's greatness or potential money making. But what happens in the end? Children that don't have both parents living with them, you have a product, and people don't know where they can get this product anymore. You have a center that's supposed to treat healing, but now no one knows where it is. One person is saying that they have the original formula. Another person said, well, how could you have the original formula when I and Sebi formed it together? And at the time of his trial, what was it, in the 1980s or 90s it was? Who was there at the trial? Who was the wife that was with him at the time of his arrest? All these things. See, we're hurting ourselves as a community. We're hurting ourselves that here you have someone who maybe their personal life wasn't the best, but you have a healing practice of, medicine, or I should say herbs, herbal remedies, and these herbal remedies help the individual heal themselves. So it's not so much the herbs, but they said those herbs allow you, the host, to heal themselves. So where do we go? Where do we go to help facilitate this wellness, this healing within our own bodies? It's all melee. It's all mudslinging. You have a great recipe for promoting health, but now people don't know where to get this medicine. People are making counterfeit Dr. Sebi products. So they're using his name and or his image on the product itself to sell it. So again, it's all about money, not wellness and healing. So who suffers? Again, another tragedy in Black history. Another tragedy that, you have many white institutions, Jewish institutions, Asian institutions, but here you have a Black man who wanted to set up a laboratory in Black Africa, and he also attempted to do this in the Caribbean, as I mentioned in the video I did, and they were poo-pooed. He was poo-pooed and kicked out of their country. So it's not so much, is it the white man's fault that we don't have an institution for us to go to for medicine, for wellness? So I'm forced as an individual to go to these institutions that I really don't want to go to. I would love to go to an institution of wellness of people from my ethnic and racial background. If I were Asian, I could easily find an Asian doctor. If I'm a white person, I can go to Europe or North America. If I'm Jewish, I can go to Israel or many practitioners in the United States. But if I'm a black person / African, I don't have any place to go to because there's melee in the midst. The melee that we're being cockholed socially, and we're not permitted to find the recognition. He wanted recognition, I feel, Dr. Sebi. He went all over the world looking for recognition, personal recognition. He was arrested several times. But yet he was producing results according to the hearing that was done, what was it, in the 1990s, early 90s or late 80s, and the judge dismissed the case, so he's out free now. So he did create great things with he and his then wife created great wellness. But the common theme is about personal responsibility to protect your property, to protect. When you go around to different people and producing children, all these different peoples, that's the problem. And that was the wedge that broke into his true greatness. And it allowed outsiders to harm him. And in the end, he gets arrested in his country that he's from, Honduras. And you notice the people that arrested him weren't people that looked like him. That was another issue I noticed. The people who actually arrested him were not from his own. And one of the daughters, again, he has many, many, many children, but the daughter that Sebi had with Ma'a, who was in an interview with her mother, said that she spoke to his father, or her father, excuse me, she spoke to her father 3 days before his passing. And he said to her, she said that he did have some type of cold. Something was wrong. He was cold. And he said that he was on a fast because he knew someone was trying to poison him. So that's why he wasn't eating. And that there is a current investigation on this matter. She said that someone had confessed to her on what happened and that it was foul play involved. And the person shared where what their relationship was in this foul play, that they confessed to her. But she cannot divulge the name and the specifics about the matter. It's very sad. We need to protect our institutions, and we need to support our own. It's unfortunate that he couldn't find it. And the result, him taking it out and not finding that proudness with the mainstream societies of the Americas. And so he, in my interpretation, he spread his seed around. It seems so typical of the region, of the Caribbean, of Central America, what happens to some black men, that they want to show their prowess, their strength, their manhood, their intelligence, but are not given the arena to show it. I was even told that he was, that they wanted to give him the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize. Wow. So I think what message I'm really trying to say is, no matter how great we are in our, medicine or music or the arts, that we have to have a personal responsibility for our conduct while we're in this prison planet, as a means to protect us. Be more selective over your relationships. One man, one woman, one marriage. That it's sacred. And if you don't believe that your relationships are sacred, anything you do outside of that sacred circle is cursed. And so all this stuff that you see is the curse that results of many things, of living in a racist society that's against black people and native peoples of this planet, and the curse that befalls when we come and not be honest in our relationships, and when we don't support our own institutions. Be careful who you associate with. Form your sacred union. Have your sacred children. Work as a team. Build it up into a respectable practice and union and institution. And may that institution grow and flourish. When it's not done, the results are what you see in the Dr. Sebi saga. It is so sad. I am so sad for the innocent people who are involved in the saga, the people who are looking for a healer to go to of their own, from their own community, black community. We don't have it. We still don't have it. Yet people who are going to other places that they claim to be, to use his medicines, that is the original formula, and it's not. And they're getting sick. And maybe some of them are even dying. You don't want to leave that type of legacy to the greater black community. Let's think twice about our conduct and the aftermath and the pain that's associated from the mistakes we made. Mistakes are made by all of us and myself. But let's learn from our mistakes so we could promote spiritual healing where all healing comes from, so that we can then address the physical ailments in our lives. I hope you like this message. Please share it with friends and family members. You can comment below and share this video with others, as I said. And if you like this channel, Spirit Journey, and its content, You may like to support this channel by PayPaling me. To do so, just go to my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the top right of the banner, you'll see the PayPal Me link. Just click on it and follow the prompt. Any amount would be appreciated. I thank you in advance. Let's conduct our lives in a healful and soulful manner.